All right, guys, welcome back to Joe to Pro. This time we've got a 2v2, so we're looking at the 2v2 playlist. Empire, Slayer, of course. You guys need to keep in mind we've got the OS, we got the camo in this one to take control of. Spar is who we're watching. Spar is Diamond to Onyx level, somewhere in that range. And we're gonna backpack off him. I'm gonna play a full life, let it play, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Let's check out his starting strat. Manimal, do you want my nudes again? What is this chat? What's happening? We just got up. It's Sunday morning for me, and I see nudes in the chat. Okay, unfortunate start. Now we have an interesting start here. Now I don't really know if there is like one 100% correct way to do this. I think generally speaking, a lot of the high-level teams opt to select either the OS or the camo, and they go there together, so that kind of helps ensure that they at least get one. I feel like usually the camo takes priority. I don't know, like it depends on how you use the power-up, right? But I feel like the camo, especially in 2v2s, kind of you have the more of an ability to outplay because it's hard for them to tell where you are. So what teams will do is they'll both go camo. They make like a camo play. However, interestingly enough, both of you guys just decided to split, go 1-1 both ways, right? So he has one going camo, you go OS. They went one OS, one camo. Convenient. So you're going to fly up on him. You do a ground bounce nade, which ends up being amazing. So good shit on this nade, right? So you bounce this nade on the floor. It's going to launch it forward, and an early explosion right on the staircase popped his shields. Great work, right? This is weird. This is why, like, so you got his shields. He's backing down. This is where, like, the question marks come in. You jump up. You throw a second nade. You could have finished him off with that headshot. You didn't need to throw the nade. And you thrust away as well. So, like, two things that I think kind of screwed you over on winning that fight is the moment that nade hit him and you heard that hit confirm and he's one shot, you push his ass. You push up on him. I'm going to try to not swear here. Let's keep it civil. But push up on the guy, finish him off. You have an easy opportunity to do so. You can thrust. You can just finish him off with a pistol shot. You don't need to thrust backwards and throw your second nade, especially because you know that your teammate is engaged in a fight, so you can 100% confirm this is an ISO player. This is a player by himself. Push your advantage. Because you backed off, and now you're doing an unsafe reload in the air, by the way, guys. This back off that he's doing with the reload. Had this guy re-challenged, free shots he would have gotten on him for reloading here. So kind of giving Matt an opportunity to push up on OS. Unfortunate. Now you're thrusting forward. The moment he picks up that OS, I don't know how I feel about thrusting up on the guy. You want to start moving away, right? So you want to keep firing shots. If he gets it, unfortunate. Bad reload here. That bad reload's really going to screw you. You still got 5 shots left in the chamber. That could be 5 shots into his body as you back up. And then you kind of like jump in the air towards him. Like none of this is getting you out of this situation, getting out of this fight. I think you don't even get your melee. You want an early melee to make sure you hit this. You don't even get the melee out, I don't think. So a lot of damage kind of opportunity there at a bare minimum. Could have escaped a little bit earlier, even though... actually, I think your teammate secures the camo in the process. We can check that. But just a lot of little things that went wrong, and that could have been a victory. You could have got that kill. Oh, yeah, Spar, you're in the chat. Okay, sweet. So, Spar, is it... are you playing with your teammate? Are you guys communicating? Just let me know. So your teammate, his play works. Very risky. Actually, no, it doesn't work. I think he just burns it. Yeah, that's why. Like he's walking in front of the barrels here, and then he blows up the barrels. So I would say like you can nade clamber, toss a nade over the barrels, make sure that they get blown up, or you can shoot them before you get there. So a little bit unfortunate on that run, but he does get a burn, which is something. And then this is just yeah, an unfortunate blunder here. Like you could have started backing off from this point. No need to thrust here. Just let yourself fall. Continue shooting him. Right? Or thrust out. Get out of that. At the same time, though, because it's going to be like a 2v1, your teammate's down, you're probably going to end up dying anyway, so putting on as much damage as you can makes sense. But yeah. Unfortunate start. You could have killed him if you challenged him immediately there. Okay, let's play like the next life. And we'll watch again. When do you do sub games? It depends on when this finishes. So we got 2 games to break down. When this finishes, then I'll play with subs. No, the raffle will happen in between. We're gonna, well, I guess I'm just kind of spacing it out. I'm assuming this will be done by about 2 p.m. And then we'll be doing, I'll take a 10-minute break, we'll do sub games. And then 4 p.m. we'll do the raffle, and then we'll play more. Okay, so spawn up. You know that the enemy is on red elbow. There's a lot of ways that you've confirmed that the enemy is on red elbow when you die. You can see it on your kill cam, right? So you're dead, right? You can see on your death cam here, enemies are clearly on red elbow. There's at least one guy on red elbow. So when you spawn up here, I don't really know how I feel about, like, I just think this is inefficient movement making your way to tower. You slide jump to tower while your teammate's already engaged in a fight with no kind of attention, no timing on like the angle here. You could have had an earlier angle. You could have been ready for shots earlier had you kind of lined up this slide jump better, so it's kind of late. Then you kind of get your shots in. So you can slide jump across this gap. It just has to be like frame perfect. Like it has to be a very late slide jump. And while you're in the air, you want your reticle already turned to red elbow because you know that's where they are. So you're ready early as possible for that fight. But heck, you don't actually need to do that. You could also like sprint jump thrust. You could thrust slide. I guess you burn your thrust, but you are near cover. So, I mean, as long as you get there fast, you know where they are, you get that angle. I think you would be okay here, right? This enemy has OS. Matt has OS. He backs off. You can clearly see an enemy in elbow. Now, I think this is a very interesting situation that kind of ends, unfortunately, that could have ended really well. This guy on elbow has no overshield. This guy bottom mid has overshield, and he's kind of out of the field of play. So what I was thinking, and we'll just let this play out as it does, you kind of like, you know, stay in tower. Your teammate in the meantime engages in a solo fight in red, right? So like you knew he was on elbow. You decided to ignore him, right? So you guys ended up kind of taking your own individual fights. And Matt in this instance has OS, so he's got a huge advantage on you, I guess, if you try to take a fight with him. He decides to turn around. He does this like wrap around through bottom tower, gets the melee on you. See, what I was thinking though is what if you went for the guy on elbow instead, right? Like the moment. So I think the best play here, just considering the fact that you've located where the guy with less shields is, this is the guy without OS, he happens to be near your teammate. Your teammate's got an angle on him on elbow. This guy has moved to bottom mid. He's out of the field of play. I would say the moment that happens, sprint slide jump, get on top mid, because it's very hard for him to conveniently challenge you on top mid. If you sprint slide jump to top mid, isolate this guy on elbow and collapse on him, you can get a nice quick kill on the guy on elbow, and then you can work together to kill OS or do as much damage as possible. I think that would have been better, and it would have kept your teammate in the field of play. You guys could have like played off each other a little better. Well, he underneath would have been forced to like wrap around and maybe try to clamber up here, get to you, but by that time you're already pushed up on elbow, so it just puts him in a like an unfortunate kind of dilemma here, rather than backing up, waiting for him to come to you, and then taking two 1v1s when this guy has a clear advantage. So I think you could have worked together here. You should have noticed he was on elbow and made the decision to fly, double team that guy, I think. And then we'll play your next life. So bam, dead. Your teammate spawned, he pushed up outside blue. You spawned in red. Something to pay attention to how these spawns work, right? So I guess because of the location of the enemy at the time that you spawned, he was so close to you, or to this teammate on blue fan, they spawned you ISO in red instead, away from all the action, which is kind of how it works. We're going to see a lot of really interesting spawns like that. But let's play this out. Shyway 1v1 me when I beat you. I want a free analysis. You want my services for free? How do you know you're gonna beat me in a 1v1, dude? First of all. Nah, dude, let's keep things civil. Let's I have to get into some sweaty 1v1, so maybe I'll have to play trap at some point. But no free analysis. You win or you lose. You're paying for it, buddy. You pay. It's like $5, and I sit here for like 2 hours, break down your guys' gameplay. This is probably the best way I could do it, because then it ensures that there's no like. I've been thinking of so many different ways to make it fair. Anyway, let's. I'm not sure if he died yet. Let's just keep this going. Let's keep this going. Getting some solid kills here, tying it up. OS and camo coming up. Alright, this play, I remember this. Okay. Right, so he's on red window here. I feel like... Okay, wait. Just trying to be more efficient with scanning here, right? Like, spending time kind of looking into red. I feel like there's a very low possibility that anybody would be in red with you, or else you wouldn't have spawned red, right? So for you to spawn in red and your teammate be over in blue, and that's one thing to notice. Like when you spawn in red and your teammate's outside, then for you to not spawn with him outside, that gives you an indication that the enemy is near your teammate. That's like something to consider right off the bat. So instead of kind of like inefficiently scanning in red, trying to figure out where they are, I would be concerned about outside and turbine, like that general area. I can't get off this guy. Just considering the fact that you spawned ISO when you should have, because nobody was in a battle, you should have spawned with your teammate. So that's just kind of how you know they're probably over in turbine area, instead of spending all this time like looking around. So there's that, but you figure it out though. So you're good. You get shot first. You can back down. This is a 2v1, so that guy gets completely blasted with a 5-shot. Thing is, as long as you're kind of working together and moving together, things can be okay, right? Even if this guy kind of gets that upper hand, you can work together and still take him out. This is unfortunate, so try to listen here. Right? Because you can hear that he's below and your teammate's in a battle. Try to listen here, because this thrust puts you out of the field of play. You miss an opportunity by thrusting. Then you do get the kill afterwards, so there's a trade, which is fine. This is a good push on this guy. He should be pretty screwed. I actually don't know why he stands still here. He could have actually like jumped backsmacked you, I think. Maybe that's what he was waiting to do, and he was like a second too late. But he literally is just like standing still. This is all good. So, like, one thing to keep in mind, you had a teammate top tower, you got the kill here, it created a spawn over in red, and as you're getting this kill over on tower, it's going to spawn the other guy opposite side. So notice how that works. Like, they always try to spawn the enemy the farthest away from the action, depending on what's going on. So because you guys are both looking at tower, killing this guy, this other guy's going to end up spawning on elbow by himself, and then you should know that turning around, right? He's going to start firing shots from elbow. There you have it. He spawned up with his teammate, but this is actually going to work out. So nice shots here. This is the biggest thing about the play that I think you definitely need to take in consideration, Spar, is just the way that you challenge this elbow. In this scenario, you know that he spawned outside. You know there's a chance he could be on blue fan. If you are ever in circumstances like this, you should always crouch jump onto this wall, I think. Now, like, this is easy to do. Like, you literally just jump, hold, crouch, push yourself into the wall, and you're up here. And then if you jump off this, you can challenge fan from a high angle. You can also jump off of this and land on this, which is like kind of like the double whammy. Like, you crouch jump off, know that you're going to land on this pole, jump off the pole, continue firing shots, thrust into the wall, jump off the pole a second time. You can maintain high ground up here for so long and be so annoying and make it so hard for him to kill you if you approach this corner in that way. Just knowing that he's going to be there, and especially because it's a 2v2. Like, doing a jump like this might be risky in a 4v4. It puts you way up in, you know, you're very up high. You're exposed to angles on blue or top mid or tower. But in this scenario, you know that he's the only player alive. You know he might be on fan. I would always challenge the high route. Always give yourself the best advantage pushing this, because watch. Because you don't do that, he jumps on you, right? You would have been jumping on him, so it would have been a much better scenario to take that play. You end up getting a trade, which is fine. Yeah, definitely do the jump. There's no way you don't... Come on, Trap. You know that jump, come on. You're actually pretty solid with some of your jumps, though. Like, here's a good example. This is a super jump to get up here without having to clamber, and you do this well, so good stuff. Of course, you know that OS is coming up. In the meantime, does your teammate... So your teammate managed to get camo, which is great. Let's just play this.
Red team gained the lead. Center of attention.
That worked out perfect. So this is like a scenario where you should know they spawn blue, right? So we're going to think about that. You don't need to spring jump up there. That's a crouch jump trap. So no spring jump necessary. That's the beauty of it. That's anyone should be able to do that jump up on that little wall. You can do it on both sides of the map. You should get in the habit of trying to do it, because it's actually not difficult. It's just a crouch jump into the wall and a second jump, and it gives you high ground for the challenge. I'm dead. Okay. All right, let's see what happens here. So he does the super jump to get up to the elbow here. Trying to contest OS. Staying alive here works out really well. Your teammate, in the meantime, does a good job here. So he has the camo. I was thinking maybe with the camo he can go this direction, but just the fact that he stays near you and hugs this wall actually works out perfect because it avoids the OS guy at the same time. He gets the kill, wraps around the others. Actually, no. This guy's just kind of Barber being a little bit unaware there, you know? He should have kind of recognized that camo player was right beside him. He kind of just walked forward and allowed him to get back smacked. So it worked out for you guys. Good stuff. So something to pay attention to, right? You're pushing up red. You're definitely blocking red. And he's pushing up through turbine. So the only options for spawns, tower and blue. I would say the most likely spawn is blue in this scenario, considering the fact that it's the farthest from both of you guys. So you can kind of isolate that, you know, in your mind and think like, okay, blue is going to be where they're going to spawn. I need to be ready for that, right? So you can see they're spawning blue right now. You should have your like reticle already placed over to plat. You could be ready for that fight, right? If you're thinking about that blue spawn, just because you can tell the way that you guys are pushing together, they're going to be spawning there. This collapse works out perfectly, though. And because you didn't fire the shot, I guess it, you know, leads to this kind of sneaky scenario as well. So you get to cut off this guy, and this is a great way to work in 2v2, right? To, like, have one player push up, expand one side, one player go through the other, because it creates these pinch type of scenarios on the spawn. And this is how you can create, like, a snowball in a 2v2, is you got them, you killed them on this side, and now you know that by doing that, you're opening up spawns on the opposite side, in red base, right? So as you push, like, he's going to go back around blue elbow, you're going to push up through tower. The likely spawn I would say would be outside red, right here, right? So, and this is actually interesting. You guys both know that, and you both push up together, but you push up slightly too quickly, which, you know, makes me think how the spawn system, like, kind of truly works in this game, because you split spawn them. Watch this. Spawned them blue, right? So you guys are kind of pushed up, taking angles, and also note that if you're looking at the spawn location, it takes influence off of that spawn location. So it's the combination of pushing it together and looking towards elbow. You somehow split spawned them. One of them ended up in blue, right? Which actually could work out pretty well, because now this guy's going to get screwed. He's in a 2v1 type of scenario here. It's pretty interesting. It looks like your teammate actually might be able to get the best of him. The other guy's coming through blue now to turbine, which is hard to predict, right? Like, knowing that you didn't see anybody red, I would have assumed that he would have been red as well. So kind of hard to predict that the guy would come from blue in this situation. But you guys kind of react to the situation really well. Something to note about how I said, like, challenging high from this location, like jumping, crouch jumping up here, and then jumping out. You can do it the opposite way kind of too. Like, if you're on the fan, if you slide jump off the fan, you can land on this pole and jump off the pole and, like, do, like, a high, like a, you know, like a high vertical type challenge there. It's a little weird. It's a little more risky than doing the one earlier, which I think would have been really helpful, but you can also kind of jump off of this on your way over to BR, which is kind of cool. Right? Because then it might have put you in a good spot there. You can also hear him, so yeah, it looks like he turned towards it. And then just kind of lose that fight. I guess you could have thrusted, but ultimately he 5'd you. Good shots from NRG. And then we'll play up your next life. My man's Barber getting clapped. Yeah, this game is super close. I believe they win by 1 kill. Okay, that was really quick. So you spawned up tower. You guys both spawned tower. Oh yeah, the only real thing is, like, just jump thrusting forward. It's hard to know that you're going to get crossed from the left here, but I think you're already kind of taking shots from the left as well, which can kind of give you an indication. But just the jump thrust forward put you out in the open. A jump thrust right would have put you behind the wall. You would have had cover. You would have been fine. Yeah, just made it really difficult. But kind of hard to predict that once again. Okay, so we'll play this first. Yeah. So you get backsmacked. You give away a free death here, and there's a reason why that happens. So in this situation, you die first before your teammate. Your teammate is going to die. He's not dead yet. Now he dies about, like, you know, 5, 6 seconds later, right? So something to recognize is when you spawn up here, for the next like 6 seconds, you're ISO. Like, you're alone in this situation. So for you to immediately push up on blue base, you actually end up flipping spawns and like making yourself, so like, here, you'll see. Because you're so close to the enemy at that 6-second point, you're going to spawn your teammate somewhere else. Like, the game is going to think it's unsafe to spawn your teammate near you, so instead they're going to spawn him all the way over on red elbow. So your decision to immediately push in a tower off of blue, off of your blue spawn, created this, like, dilemma where you're now alone, and he can't help you in any way whatsoever. So what you should have done, I think, was stay in blue and wait a bit. You could jump up to the window. You can kind of hold an angle here and just force your teammates spawn in blue so that you guys are together off of the rip and you could work together. As opposed to this is kind of like ended up in this dangerous scenario where you're alone. He got around behind you and he just backsmacks you and kills you immediately. So really interesting to think about. You died about 6 seconds before your teammate. Maybe think, okay, maybe I should like play passive here, stay alive, make sure my teammate spawns up with me, and then we can work together to try to like challenge them once again. And we'll go here.
Blue team halfway to victory.
The only thing I would say about this life is just the way that you approach the battle. It was just kind of like an inefficient, unsafe way to approach. Or mostly just inefficient, like... So you spawn here, your teammate is on tower, right? I think the best play would be jump up here and take an angle on tower. So you guys can work together and create a pinch right from the beginning of your life, right? Like, it immediately gives you angles, it allows you to draw aggro, and you can work together and get in this fight. If instead you do this, which is what you're doing, your angles are limited. It's hard for you to help your teammate who's now back down in his one shot, and this guy's on top tower. Like, had you have been top mid, that's shots into the side of his body, and that's a dilemma that he has to deal with, and you can collapse on him, right? So I think following your teammate in this instance kind of screwed you over, it limited your options. It made it very difficult for you to make a play here. So yeah, the best thing would have been to jump up, get top mid, collapse together, recognize he's already, got an expanded route in the side. You can work with him from the middle of the map, because now you're just kind of in the same spot, you're holding the same angles, you give them an opportunity to pinch up, right? Pinch on you, and this is so rough now, right? So he could have just dropped. He could have dropped and killed you guys off, I think. But he still got you with the 2-shot beatdown.
Blue team halfway to victory.
Right, so I'm not sure. I think you... sorry, you gave them camo in the process, right? So they have camo now. And they're going to run over to OS, so that's something you need to know right off spawn. Which you're flying over to OS.
Perfect kill. Red team halfway to victory.
Just going to keep playing it. Zombie Alice, I only spring roll instead of spring jump. I'm with you on that.
Predator.
Oh, man. Okay.
Red team.
Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm going to turn that off. Just get rid of the background noise. Okay. Right, so you spawn at blue, you know that OS is up. So you're going to fly up and try to bounce nade here, these are okay nades. Great shots. So you actually got the burn in the OS. You did your job as far as, like, removing OS from play. So yeah, he's camoed. You don't really know where he is, so can't really knock you for that. Your teammate's in a battle. You want to immediately turn around and engage with him. That's fine. Honestly, really good reaction to that situation. Like, you ended up thrusting, and the crouch strafe surprisingly, like, worked out. You didn't really vary it up. You just held crouch the whole time, and he just choked his shots, and you hit perfect shots. So great stuff there. That's probably the best you can hope for there. The camo guy just still being a nuisance. The biggest thing to consider is, like, he should know that camo is on top fan. That's the biggest thing I could say about that play is, like, when you die, you should know that you just got killed by camo. He backsmacked you. You can see on your death screen. Assuming you guys are communicating, this is a great opportunity to take out camo, right? Because, so... right here. Perfect shots. Get the backsmack. You're dead. Use your death cam right now. You can see him on death cam.
Perfect
Right?
kill.
You can see him. He's jumping up on fan. Wait, there. He just jumped on fan. You can see him standing on fan. That's a call out to your teammate. Your teammate should be nading fan right now. Like, this guy should be out of the field to play because you've got easy eyes on him. So you should be taking him out. Right? But instead, he gets first shot. So the fact that Camo gets the first play makes me think that there's a mishap in communication there. You guys should be fully aware of his location on fan and capitalizing on that. Play your next life, which is going to die immediately. I guess they got like a spawn on red. I don't know why you would spawn red. Let's see what happened. Oh, you know why? Because of the timing of... So they spawned him blue, so they put you red. Just because of the timing of deaths. Right? So because there's gunfire happening on the elbow here, the game said, okay, what's the farthest spawn away from the action? We'll throw the blue guy over in blue all the way over here. Which I think is kind of a silly spawn. It's like a little bit too far.
Perfect kill.
Because he was on blue, he's blocking blue, so it spawned you red right in the corner, which is really horrible because you're kind of in the middle of them right off the spawn. Yeah. I'm not sure if you got the beatdown in there, but definitely a 3-shot beatdown would have been a trade. Also makes me think, like, what if you went, like, a slow play towards tower, like a low presence play to tower? Maybe that would have put you in a better position to kind of escape that, because you know you're alone on red. You know that he's still alive on red elbow. You don't know where the enemy player is. And the guy in red elbow has camo, so I don't know if, like, maybe it was risky to go into red to begin with. It's kind of, this one's a little bit more up in the air. Just because you, like, spawned alone. You could try to maybe slow play your way over to tower. You red barred him, you think? Yeah, you might have red barred him. That's the thing too. Is like that's just unlucky. This is good. You turn to cut him off. Nice, and then you die. All right, that's fine. So these are kind of just some brawls, basically. Can't do too much about that. Like, the 3-shot beatdown made sense here. Sorry, we'll play this. Interesting spring jump, by the way. I actually didn't know about this spring jump, so we'll look at it again in a second. Good stuff. Always learning something new. I thought you had to spring thrust it or, like, spring stabilize, but you just did, like, a generic, like, a regular spring jump, and it got up there. It's from a very specific spot, too. Nice try. That was actually really good. That nade. He did it to you, but he screwed up. He just did the play on you and screwed up. You'll see. Okay, so you spawn, and then you do this spring jump to top mid. Check that out. Pretty cool. So if you stand, it's like about here on the floor. I don't think you should be hugging the wall. I tried hugging the wall. It was hard to land it. If you're standing about here, like relatively close to the wall, you spring jump, you can get up onto this corner. Try looking up a little bit. Will help ensure that you grab it. But interesting that you can land a spring jump. You can actually spring stabilize to make it even more guaranteed. Though it was kind of unnecessary in this situation because you could have just like crouch jump here and you would have had earlier angles, you know? Like I feel like spring jumping and then immediately being top mid where like you're vulnerable to a lot of angles and your gun's not ready because you have to clamber, kind of a rough way to start this life. Whereas I feel like this would have just been safer and like a logical approach. But cool to know that you can do this. And there might be scenarios where you have to escape where it might be really smart to do this spring jump. I just think it wasn't necessary here. Thankfully, nobody's there, like, immediately. Everything's just... I guess you're just, like, listening. It's a long wait here. Then he sticks your teammate. Yeah, I think playing slow here and carefully is good. Like, no sprinting or anything. You recognize where he is. You wait to try to stick him. Like, all this is pretty solid. He just unfortunately missed the stick. And this is a great nade, like a good prediction nade that he might challenge you, and it does great damage to him, right? And he's forced to back off. This is the scenario where I'm thinking, like, sprint, slide jump. Because you know that he's in that scenario, like, or this spot here, and he might try to challenge you. If you sprint, slide jump, and land on this pole and jump off the pole, you can, like, go for this aggressive challenge and have high ground on him while you push to try to finish him off. Because he does the thing that I said you should do to you, basically. Because you're standing down here for the challenge. He jumps off the wall. I think. Actually, maybe he doesn't jump off the wall. Maybe he just does a regular jump and just because you're like low. Oh, wait. Oh, he messes it up. Oh, wait, no, sorry, this isn't the challenge. Yeah, so he doesn't even do it, my bad. He just ends up, like, whiffing the backsmack, getting underneath you, or getting above you and just whiffing the backsmack and then having to back off. My bad. I thought he would have played it there. And then, yeah. It's, like, these types of battles, these are, like, really common. There's actually, at the beginning of the game, I forgot to talk about this, too. It's like that one missed shot right there. Oh, damn it. All right, hold on one more time. It's that one moment where you want to try to predict the thrust and pace yourself. Because this is the shot that everybody misses in the gunfight. That moment where he thrusts. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, jump. And then you shoot this shot that's unnecessary into the wall, right? That's the moment, like when he jumps and he's one shot where you just want to wait, watch him thrust, and get ready to flick the best flick you can, basically, to land that final shot, because then you end up missing all the subsequent ones, right? So it's just that one moment where you know that he's like one shot, he's going to thrust, but you got to try to like pause, pace yourself, and get that finishing shot. Hard committing is a huge risk, yeah. I think from that position, though, like the way that he entered the fight to just try to get the stick, like he was just kind of like walking around, playing it slowly. He tries to land the stick. He doesn't get it. He ends up being outside. There's no, like, you know, the other player could have pushed up by then. And it would have been done. Like, it just so happens that the blue guys weren't really working together well. And, you know, the fight was okay. Normally, though, playing the way that he did, had that been, like, a coordinated 2's team, they probably would have collapsed on him. He would have died for it.
Center of attention.
Should have thrusted left? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because you could escape the fight. A lot of ways you could have taken that, right? Like, you could have done an early thrust right into his face and just gone, like, full aggro. And just try to hit all your shots. Like, it's kind of a toss-up. This is unfortunate off the start here. Like, you nade, you fire a shot into this guy, and then you kind of, just because of the way that your reticle's prepped, you completely miss him. And then he kind of, like, gets behind you. But that works out perfectly. And then you end up dying here. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, so the biggest thing, like, it's hard to even know how to, like, instruct. Like, what's wrong here is just that your reticle should be turned to the left earlier, basically. So that when you turn around this wall, you don't end up in this, like, you know, you could even see him on the kind of the top left-hand corner of your screen. But, like, if your reticle was prepped a little bit earlier, I think you would have seen him try to climb the wall, as opposed to, like, this scenario where he just kind of, like, gets around you, and it's like, what, the console aim, you know? It's really weird. And then he tries to, like, thrust on you. You guys are both kind of flailing, but it works out perfectly because Camo gets right in there and he clutches it out. Camo gets the kill, right? So you're standing here now, and then you don't need to jump. You could just stay here, but I guess you want to try to, like, stay alive just in case the other guy pushes up. Something to note about this jump right here is you can't clamber this for some reason. I tried clambering this, like, a bunch of times the other day, and just, like, from different angles, I could not clamber onto this wall. I can clamber these. For whatever reason, you can, like, the right on the front of them, you can clamber these. Like, so I don't know if it's, like, the pieces are different, because, like, the outside ones I find very hard and very, like, finicky. Like, it's just, you don't want to go for it. The inside ones you can clamber no problem. I don't know why. I'm not sure, but you can crouch jump and land on this. So what you could have done is, like, jump, hold crouch, land on this, sit here, jump a second time, and then get onto the outside platform. To go from here over to here is pretty much an impossible jump unless you spring jump. Like, just look at the distance that you have to fly, right? You'd have to, like, jump, stabilize, but be stabilizing high enough so that you can thrust in and then grab the wall there. So, like, basically you never want to jump from, like, this spot to try to grab this around the corner unless you're planning on crouch jumping onto this. That's the thing to think. Like, in the future, that's why you die. You know, you don't want to jump out like that. Just jump, crouch jump on here, then go around would be the best way to do it if you're trying to get around the wall from this like position, basically. But yeah.
We got 5 minutes left.
Next life. You can hear him. Something to note. I could hear him above you there. Yeah. Always want to be trying to, like, listen. These guys kind of backing themselves into a corner. Good escape. Yeah, I'm not really even sure what to really say. Like, so you recognize he was top mid, bottom mid. You would call that out. Your teammate could have finished him. So like, there's just kind of like a pinch opportunity that didn't really happen that could have happened here, right? Like, he's pushing out elbow. He's trying to take this fight in blue, but he doesn't need to because this guy's one shot right here in front blue. So like, if you guys were well coordinated, this teammate should have pushed and he should have finished this kill. Like, that should have been it, you know? So that was kind of like one mishap. You decide to kind of drop here, which is a little scary. Like, I think keeping top mid would have been solid considering you already had the advantage, but you can kind of hear him above you, so always try to be listening. Seems like you were aware of the fact that Barber was there as well. But I think you do hear that he's, like, near you, so you kind of, like, wait. It ends up being, like, a ring around the rosy. I would say just try to get yourself out of these, like, low positions so that you're starting a fight in, like, a better position than the enemy, but it's kind of a weird scenario. This is fine here. Teammate gets killed, and then you finish it off. So nice shots, nice counter thrust. You like waited, you thrusted after him, you got the counter, and then you drop down to these pipes. This is a great way to escape, right? Something that I typically do is I wait a split second, get my shield started, and then I jump back up, and then go check to see if he's there or if he's coming under. Because I find this like a harder fight to take, because then it's just even ground, right? Like, you guys are just gonna go in on each other. Like, I would have just kind of, like, either jumped on the window or, like, stayed here as long as possible and just listened and tried to get, like, an advantage on him. Like, jump on top from above. Like, just try to press some sort of an advantage, like, play in this area or decide if you want to go through plat this way or... But it wasn't, like, wrong what you did. You just kind of lost that fight. Honestly, Spar not even playing bad at all. No, I don't think so. Challenge to the death less in a 2v1. Fair. Milk the dude when he's fucked. Teammate should help. Yeah. But your shot's not bad. Yeah, I said most of this gameplay is pretty solid. Yeah, a couple moments where he's like ISO needs to just kind of delay and slay, which I probably should have mentioned earlier, but that's fine. Nice. He choked. Good double. And you can get the camo, so this is huge. This is almost the end of the game here. Okay, I guess they both got blue. You should definitely, like, consider where your teammate is in this situation. Okay, well, now you know for sure they're blue, so that makes it easy. Another situation where, like, I feel like if you jump off of the wall here, it always just gives you that, like, high ground. But you have camo, so whatever. Your reticle should already be turned. Like, your reticle should be looking at fan now. You know? Like, the fact that you're not turned yet is a little... Yeah, because then you would have been ready for that a little earlier. But I don't think it matters. Probably didn't need to throw the nade. So another thing, too, is just, like, you have camo. You can take your time. You recognize that he's weak. His shields are weak. So you could have just finished him off with a couple shots. Unfortunate. Nice. You big panic there? Yeah, maybe. Kind of looked like that a little bit. Oh, this is so convenient.
You're on a roll. Eyes open. It's sudden death.
So convenient. You're going to win the game off this one. Oh, wait, no, you guys work together outside. That's what happens. Come on. And then right here. Really dangerous thrust. Like, it's literally 24 to 24, and Mythic, like, jump thrust challenges 2 people. That was a rough play for him.
Game over. Red team takes the victory.
Okay, so you like a really like a series of great plays here that seal it out. A lot of fortunate moments too. Like, so you spawn up. This is fine. Going for a pinch here. I don't think you meant to fall, but it ends up working out pretty well. Crazy. Okay, so he did shoot you. He knows that you're there. But you can see this guy. You get the nice nades on him. Perfect. You know the other guy's over to your left here, so you're gonna try to find him. So this is all solid. I don't have anything really to say about this. You know the camo's coming up, so you want to kind of like play your life. Kind of a dangerous place to stand there. You can just stay in the windows probably. He choked big time, and you got the kill perfect. Like, he did an early melee. You're able to finish him off with a 3-shot beatdown, and this guy as well. And then you get camo. Should have ego challenged the whole game. Well, 1-shot and bait the teammate. Yeah. That's how you do. That's the Shotsy way, man. Just ego challenge. Yeah. So like I said, just kind of reticle prep, and then just shoot this guy. Easy kill. Yeah, and then like you could have, if you saved your nade, you might have also taken out the other guy. So like a lot you could have done to just like stop these guys from getting that OS. But it's fine that like you recognize you're in trouble, you back off. I wonder. Like whenever I have scenarios like this, I always think like, can I sit here? Because you can literally just sit here, and you have camo. Like if they push, I wonder. But it's fine. This is actually good, though. You get the shot, you drop back, and then, yeah, he could have dropped down from that. He kind of, like, left himself vulnerable, but you got a nice shot to finish him off. Everything just working out really well here. You guys can, like, hear, and you see nades now, so you can just collapse together on this guy. So he makes a smart play here, too. Like, he recognizes he's in trouble, and he takes his opportunity to sprint out of there and, like, get over to tower so he can work with his teammates. So good from Barber here to, like, you know, recognize he's in a 2v1, needs to stay alive. You can't take that fight. So then he gets away from you. Something I'm thinking here is, like, you kind of, like, jump backwards into a wall. I don't know if you're trying to get into this window, but you can hold crouch, get into this window. I talked about this last week. Or you can jump off of one of these. Just don't jump in the middle. This pole in the middle will screw you up. You can jump on this platform or this platform and then jump backwards, and you'll get into the window. However, you not going into the window is perfect, because this guy just, like, runs by and gives you his back.
Open, it's sudden death.
You're gonna go live soon? Sounds good, Batch. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of passive, but it's sudden death, so I think it's fine. As long as you guys, like, stay together and you coordinate some sort of a push together. You've got OS and camo to worry about at some point, but they're not coming for a little while, so honestly just works out really well. Over-aggressive challenge from Matt here. And Matt jump thrusts out. He thinks that this guy's, like, weak or something. I don't even think he got shot. Yeah. And that's it. Good stuff for the most part, Spar. I thought this was pretty solid. I would just think about, like, little things like where the enemy's going to spawn based on where you and your teammate are. A lot of moments where you guys had this great spawn collapse where you would, like, pinch up, they spawn, like, outside, and then you knew that because you killed them outside red, they were going to spawn over in blue, and then you pinch them in blue, and then they spawn back over outside in red elbow, but you guys both pushed so quickly that it, like, split the spawns, and it created this weird scenario that was kind of hard to predict. And then just a couple more, like the starting strat was a bit of a blunder as well. Like, challenge opportunities that you can, like especially in a 2v2. If you recognize that you're in a 1v1, his teammate isn't like immediately with him, and you have an advantage, like press that advantage, be aggressive. You can afford to do it in 2v2 more so than 4v4. You can be like more aggro in some of those moments. If you're alone, like Batchford said, try to like play your life, stay alive. But yeah, overall, like pretty solid.